All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Two men in black and white, and honest conversation. Brock Ganeles joins me now from high atop the Hudson River Valley with the latest on what is just another day in the life of a an authoritarian regime. It never stops with these guys, Brock. What's got you hacked off today?
Well, look, absolute turmoil at the CDC today, right? I still can't figure out whether there was mass resignations. Then I saw a letter coming from the head of the CDC's legal team saying that she has not resigned. But obviously, Kennedy is an absolute embarrassment and a
Right,
disgrace and a threat to all of our health. And now it
right,
looks like this came to a head over the COVID vaccines and the fact that there'd been chatter that they were just going to restrict them. And now I don't know what Kennedy's mandate is. What, that we're just not going to
right.
have the vaccine, or is it just only going to go to certain populations? I mean, you know, so, our health and wellness is in decline, but we knew we hired Trump hired an idiot and a madman and a conspiracy theorist to run America's, healthcare. So we're cutting funding, and
Oh,
now, so that's the big shit show, right? Because now we know how many people died. Million plus people died from COVID. We don't have to replay that movie. We don't need the sequel.
nope.
It's fucking ridiculous. And as a populace, we don't have to accept this.
Right,
We know better.
right.
We were stuck in our houses for 2 years.
It was insane. I mean, could you have ever imagined if someone had told you that 20 years ago, we'd be doing that in 2020? You'd have been like, you're out of your cotton picking mind. And
It was
not only,
the one positive aspect of Trump's first 4 years was
right,
the speed at which we got the COVID vaccine and the lives it saves. Sorry, I cut you off. I had to get that in there.
right, but he had nothing to do with it. Um,
No.
you know, and he reaped the benefits of it, right? He reaped the benefits of it. The moron got COVID, right? And was able to have some of the world's best doctors at his beck and call to save his worthless ass life. And that is not fair considering how many millions of people died in this country, not to mention the rest of the world. But his absolute fumbling of that catastrophe was just ridiculous, uncalled for, and here we are going through it again. Now Menarez, is that how Susan Menarez, the
Yeah, I don't know how to
CDC?
pronounce her name. Yeah.
Yeah, it's saying she hasn't resigned or received notification for the White House that she's been fired. So which is it? Right? Why is it always so much chaos surrounding
Yeah.
these idiots? Can't make a decision.
I mean, reports earlier today was that she had resigned, as well as a number of other leading doctors at CDC. But now that's all up in the air. Now I don't know. But it's obvious there's a massive dispute and chaos going on, and that there's somebody's making a stand, for our health.
Right.
We want her to stay in the seat because any decision Kennedy, raw milk drinking Kennedy is not going to save us from incurable disease, airborne viruses that have already killed a million plus Americans. Like, we have literally fucking lived through it. There's no mystery to what happens when COVID runs rampant.
Right. And and also Brock, he doesn't understand any of it. Right? So he's not approaching this scientifically. He's approaching this with his feelings, like all these other anti-vaxxers and anti-this and anti-expert. Right? They're all just going at this based on how they feel about something someone else has said or they read somewhere on some, disreputable source. This has nothing to do with fact. And that's the problem. Right? This has nothing to do with expertise. That's the problem. Right? Since when does science lie to us? I don't
Every
understand why
devalue.
selling this bill of goods is a win for anyone. It ain't for us, the American people.
we've devalued knowledge, right? And that's because because Trump's a moron. So he wants to devalue knowledge because he wants to bring everyone down to his level, right? Just like we've devalued honor, right? We've devalued trust, like all the qualities that we used to, revere and hold high. Trump doesn't have them, so he wants to drag everyone down to his level, right? That's corruption, right? He's corrupted us in so many ways. So you want to know what got me hacked off today? The fact that Kennedy has, he's been wreaking havoc since day one, but now he's appears to be chasing out or trying to steamroll, legitimate professionals in the science field who are looking out for our health and wellness.
Right.
And they're on the outs, and a fucking idiot like Kennedy is the inside guy who literally has the power.
Right, and that makes absolutely no. I mean, how can you listen to this guy with that, 8 packs a day cigarette raspy voice, and put any trust into anything he's saying with the worms coming out of his brain? Literally, I mean, why are we listening to this fucking clown? And how many years is this guy and these creeps, are they taking off of our lives? I'm saying a good 10 to 15. That means I'm out of here in 10 years. I got a decade left, so I better live it.
Yeah, not only is the quality of life going down, literally life expectancy in America is going to go down. So that was probably okay. I was about to say that was the worst thing that happened today. But I'm like, when the day starts with a bunch of 8 and 10-year-olds getting gunned down in church in the morning on first day of school, second day of school, they couldn't have been in school that long, right? So we already had our first mass shooting. But it was even amped up a bit because of the age of the kids and the fact that literally they're there praying. So the thoughts and prayers crowd just can just stay home today because no one wants to hear that bullshit. There were literally prayers. They were in the middle of prayers when they were getting gunned down. So I don't want to say the Kennedy thing was the worst thing that happened today. He's the worst thing that's going to happen to us in the future. Right. It was the shooting that was the worst thing that happened in America today. And we all know nothing's going to change.
Nope. Again, if nothing changed after Newtown, right? What was Newtown? 20 kids, 6 teachers, and a gunman? Where was the good guy with the gun? Where was the good guy with the gun today? Right? The good guy with the gun is never there in time. Or very rarely.
Can't be there. He can't be everywhere. Can't be everywhere. And today was like a miniature version of Newtown, right? The ages were similar. Just not as many casualties. But once again, the assailant was a young, white, disturbed male who ended up shooting himself. Right, we knew the blueprint. I almost didn't even have to hear the profile. Right, I could have guessed it. Right.
Yep. Went to the front page of Fox News. Didn't even see it on there. Didn't even see it on the front page of Fox News.
It's already they're not even reporting on it. Right. I was in a blue state. It was Minnesota. But it was in a Catholic church. You think the religious people would be really, particularly disturbed by that.
Right. And your evangelicals, where's our evangelicals? They're not upset by people being gunned down at the altar? Gunned down while they're praying? I mean,
apparently this kid had a manifesto also. I didn't see it. Apparently he had a manifesto. He had a lot written up. He had a lot of comments written on his guns. So he wasn't shy about where he stood. Definitely a right-wing guy. Anti-Semitic definitely was on there with the 6 million not enough written on his guns. But so surprising that he went to a Catholic church. This is a very disturbed, confused young man. But we got apparently thousands to tens of thousands of these young guys running around with firearms, and it's just a matter of time before they, go off the rails and kill innocent people.
And of course, we wouldn't want to put any governmental barriers in their way to procuring weapons of mass destruction, or the kinds of weapons that should only be used in case of war. People need AK-47s and AR-15s to shoot and kill Bambi. I mean, it's ridiculous that we keep having this conversation over the Dana Leshes of the world, the Wayne LaPierres, the NRA crowd. You guys can all go to hell, because they're all running around talking about how awesome it is to be a gun-toting lunatic, until it comes knocking on their front door, right? Until black people start picking up guns, right? Remember what happened when the Black Panthers picked up weapons? Then it was a problem, right? Now it's a problem. Oh, yeah, we mean Second Amendment, but we mean Second Amendment for law-abiding citizens. Black people by nature are not necessarily law-abiding, right? That was commonly heard in white homes, around the southern portion of the United States. And around other portions too. You got racists everywhere who think only certain people should have weapons. And that's the scary part.
Even on this topic, I get aggravated with people on the left when I hear about like the proud gun owner. Like if I got to hear that term one more time in my life, I'm going to just pull whatever hair I got here out of my head. Like
Right.
you proud gun owner, like I'm a proud, coffee pot owner. I'm a
Right.
proud, refrigerator. It's just stop with the pride in owning the gun, right? It's a weapon it's a tool of violence, and there's no pride in owning it. I get it. You want to go hunting, go hunt on your own time. We don't need you, glorifying the activity, the actions, and the the gun itself. Because
And the
there's way
importance
too
of
many
that.
people whose hands it shouldn't be in.
Right. Right. And I mean, what is it gonna take to have these people? I mean, think about how many guns were in the crowd on January 6th, and how that thing could have really gotten out of hand. What happens if Ashley Babbitt gets through that door and she's not
Yeah,
taken down? What happens if
people,
all those
yeah.
law-abiding law enforcement officials don't call out the weapons they're seeing from their command posts? I mean, it could have really gotten ugly. Er.
Look, we gotta but the left is afraid to talk about gun ownership. Honestly, the bottom line is, we do have to come for people's guns. There has to be gun confiscation. There has to be a much higher barrier to anyone owning them, and we can't have a nation where there's more actual firearms than there are people. It's just ridiculous. It makes no fucking sense. We're in the 21st century. We're not in the 1820s. We're not worried about, we don't need to go out. We're not going out and killing our dinner every night in the fucking woods. Most of us are going to the grocery store hoping we can afford the fucking meat prices, right? So, but it's just idiotic the way we talk about it. We're gonna need some serious progressive reform. No bump stocks, no AK-47s, no assault rifles, nothing. No gun magazines that hold in more than 4 or 5 at a time. You don't need to be able to shoot off 100 rounds in 8 seconds. None of this shit. No open carry. I mean, there's just so many laws we have, or rules, or allowances we have that are just absolutely ridiculous and bad for our life expectancy.
Right. Right. 2 children are gone now, 17 wounded. Those 17 are never going to be the same. Anybody who was forced to run from the sound of gunfire is never going to be the same. They say Amy Klobuchar says a former staffer of hers her daughter witnessed her friends being shot. I mean, how much more trauma can this nation stand? Right? Because that's all he's doing is traumatizing us from the Oval Office. I mean, it makes no sense. Again, it's almost like he has a to-do list of how to destroy America without letting Putin fire a shot.
Yeah, I mean, but it was a day we weren't talking about the Epstein files, right? Because we had like such other like day to day life altering decision making, actions and decision making going on around us that just, overwhelmed the, other news stories and the other atrocities that are going on, National Guard on the streets and all that stuff, So it was just another horrendous day in America. And this, I guess, is why, Trump had another day of horrendous polling. And, at least there's some solace in knowing that his poll numbers are going down, that there are some Americans who were, in my mind, dumb or racist enough to vote for him once, twice, sometimes three times, that are finally peeling away, slowly but surely. Something in here is making them finally decide that this is not the America they want to live in. But I'm just starting to worry that they may be too slow and it might be too late.
Right. I mean, we know he's going to cancel elections in 26. That's our prediction, or mine at least. I know you're a little more optimistic about that, but I just don't see.
Because I think he's gonna rig them, and I'm more optimistic because I think he's gonna rig them instead and have sham elections. You think they're gonna be canceled? I'm the optimistic guy. It's gonna be a rigged election, not a canceled one.
How insane is that? Look, we all we it's funny how low the bar is now, right? On American excellence, right? American exceptionalism. There is none anymore, right? We're not leading the pack in anything, except how to destroy your country from within. That's the only thing we're great at. We're not making America great at shit, right?
No, everyone else is figuring it out around us.
Yeah.
They're laughing at us. They're looking at us, going, "Why? Why do you allow this gun violence in your country? Why do you allow this?" And then they come to the conclusion, "Wow, if you allow this, now we see how you can elect a Donald Trump because you allow crazed gunmen to go around and kill your kids on the regular basis. So, like, you guys don't have a moral compass in America
At all. At all. Remember the Prime Minister of New Zealand? They had a mass shooting there, and they outlawed the weapons like the next day.
Yeah,
They
next day. It
outlawed
was
the
gone
weapons
in a
the
day.
next day. No, without any
Hey, when we
backlash.
got bombed on when we got bombed on 9/11, right? We created the Department of Homeland Security in a heartbeat. And now look where we are. Now we have ICE agents. Now we have our own private Gestapo running around who works for the president to round up brown people. But like we can move quick. We can move quick like New Zealand when we want to.
Yeah,
Depends on what motivates us. Kids getting killed doesn't motivate us.
right. We'd rather have the brown shirts out here terrorizing folks, which is absolutely disgusting. So Abrego's, we talked about Abrego's deportation. Speaking of brown people, um, that deportation has been blocked. Thank goodness. In the meantime, but you know what? This problem is still not going away. It's not going away, and again, it's another diversion, from the matter at hand with the Epstein files. And I'm sick and tired of them not wanting to, release these files, and then, pissing on our heads and telling us it's raining. That's basically what they did with that drip and drab and dribble they dropped
Yeah,
out
that's
last
what
week.
Pam Bondi did. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
Pam Bondi
Pam
is gonna.
Bondi's gonna guard. Pam Bondi's guarding those secrets with her life at this point. Like
Yes, indeed.
she views that as her job is to protect Trump, not
Yes, not to
really
uphold the
America.
law, not to do anything to make the quality of American lives any better by upholding the law. Her job is to protect Trump at any and all costs, and she's doing it. And she's going to go down as the worst AG in history. And I'm sure we will find oodles and oodles of criminal activity when her record is reviewed. Um, if and when we get a normal government back in place and her record is reviewed, she should be getting a set of silver bracelets. Cankles McTaco tits can't save everybody. You know, he might be able to save
Well, he'll be
himself.
gone. He'll be gone. He'll
Yeah,
be
he'll be
dead.
yeah, yeah, he'll be dead. And I'm optimistic it's within the next 10 days, um, which won't give him an opportunity to cancel elections. So, and with him getting unalived, there's nobody else to take over the helm and
Yeah.
coalesce this group of lunatics, right? Who's going to reel in Laura Loomer and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Loopy Boebert, right? What's happened to Boebert? We haven't heard anything from her. She must be out committing crime somewhere under the dark of the night, because we haven't heard from her lately. That scares me.
Yeah.
What the hell is she up to? You know? But who's gonna coalesce this group of loonies? When Trump kicks, absolutely nobody. There's no one with enough charisma to do it. No one with enough cojones. No one with enough
Yeah.
panache to bring these lunatics to the same table and get them on the same page.
Yeah,
Or
and I think no one,
no
no one,
fear.
no one who will intimidate the rank and file in the same way,
Exactly.
because they all just think he's
Exactly.
so crazy and has such a hold on the fringe of the party that they're
Right.
afraid of him. Right? Murkowski told us, right? So the next person is unlikely to have to be able to wield that kind of just fear, but they're all so soft. Yeah, today was such a bad day in America. Jesus Christ, it was a terrible day.
Depressing.
Um,
It was
and
depressing.
I'm not optimistic I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and it's gonna be any better because
Right.
what's gonna make it better tomorrow?
Right. No, I don't know. The only thing that can make it better is Trump's demise. I mean, that's
Yeah,
the only thing that can make it better, because then we'll
best
really
move.
see them
Yeah,
go off the rails, and they'll be out of sorts. So while they're trying to figure out, who the de facto leader is, maybe Project 2025 has to regroup and help, waste time on leadership as opposed to, the destruction from within that they're wreaking.
yeah. I guess if there were signs of life today, or light at the end of the tunnel, whatever we're gonna go with, there was a special election in Iowa for a state senator seat, and a Democrat won in a district that Trump had won by double digits. So once again, a big swing. It's still small
Bigly.
potatoes. I guess it helps in Iowa because they don't have Republicans don't have a super majority anymore. But it just shows how big the needle can potentially swing even in Republican strongholds. And the guy who threw the Subway sandwich at the National Guard did not get indicted. The grand jury did not go
Right.
through. It was the ham sandwich was not considered a deadly weapon, and he was released.
Yeah.
Maybe got a
Lost
small
his job
fine
at the
for littering or something. But I guess even in a country where there is no rule of law, there's still maybe there is a bridge too far in some cases. Thankfully,
Right.
the courts
Right.
held. Courts held today.
Yeah. And now he lost his job at the DOJ, but did he really want it? I gotta wonder. I know he probably needs it. You know, not many of us have 6 to 8 months savings, stored up. But nonetheless, hey, he made a stand. What did he shout before he chucked the sandwich at him? We don't want you in our city. We don't want you here. And that's the bottom line. Why aren't we talking about that?
The visuals of the National Guard today were terrible, and it had to hurt Trump. I mean, they're out with trash bags, which was nice. I guess they were like a cleanup crew. Then I saw other video and photos of like 8 National Guardsmen out in front of a Krispy Kreme, right? Just standing out front of the Krispy Kreme like that's their garden, the precious cargo from the theft, so people couldn't get it, the powdered donuts. So it's just like it was just the visuals of them today were like, what the fuck are they doing there? And I did see more ex-military and ex-guardmen out making statements that this is not what their role is, and that these are illegal deployments. So that conversation is gaining some traction.
Right, right. And let's hope so. Because, again, like we talked about yesterday, I just feel like those people who have lived it, those people who have served, are the best people to talk to those people who are currently serving and currently engaging,
Yeah,
in
you would
listening
think.
to this boom, right? How are you taking
You would
orders
think.
from the guy with 5 deferments, right? And Cankles McTaco Tits is his nickname, right? The guy couldn't give you 10 push-ups if he tried, right? So, I just don't know, um, who better to speak to these folks than, you know, uh, veterans, and those people who are being adversely affected by the big, beautiful bill that's cutting so much from the VA. I mean, what the heck? It's already resources are already strained at the VA, and now you're cutting more. That sounds like a Putin objective. That sounds like something. Hey, yeah, make their army weaker by making people not want to join because they know you're not going to be taken care of after your service.
Yeah,
Well,
suckers,
you go
suckers and
serve.
losers.
Yeah, you go serve, you get all hacked up, and then you come back home and there's no resources for you. No
Yeah, Mark,
PTSD.
but what yeah, we have all this. We had all this terrible shit go on today, and we we didn't even have a big one that was directly involved racism. So now that
Yeah,
Trump's getting, I told you he's getting, he treats white people like white people treat black people, right? Bunch of white kids get shot up in a Catholic church. Kennedy, our beloved white leader of health, what is his actual title? I forget
HHS.
what it is. Health and Human Services. What is
Yeah,
he?
he's like a cabinet member, right?
Whatever.
He's
He's
like
in head of the healthcare.
Secretary of
I
Health and Human
mean,
Services. It's brutal.
I guess yeah, check it up. So we didn't even get to the well once again like we didn't even notice how many brown people were rounded up today.
Right,
Didn't notice because there was too much other shit going on, right? So there's
right,
all just those negatives that are just going on in the background that don't make the news and make the headlines anymore.
right.
Yeah, it was a tough one today.
Yeah, man.
All right,
Um,
I got a quick hitter for you. I got a quick hitter for you today on other disappointing news that I saw.
oh Lord.
Did you see the Gloria Gaynor news today?
No, she accepted the award.
Can you confirm it? Can you confirm it in the black community? Because you can't
Yeah.
trust everything you read, and there's a lot of misinformation out there. But I
Uh,
did see a story, maybe multiple stories, that she's been donating to Republican candidates for decades because they saw the FEC filings, so they saw all the public record of who she has donated to. Kevin
wow.
McCarthy, Marco Rubio. I don't think I saw Mitch McConnell on there, but it was a good 10 to 15 Republican candidates over the years. So she might be MAGA, and that might be why they picked her. But I need you to confirm that information for me.
Yeah, I'm seeing these stories. Wow. An 81-year-old woman from Newark, New Jersey, with some of the greatest R&B hits of all time. I Will Survive, Eye of the Tiger, First Be a Woman, Can't Stop Writing the Songs. I mean, yo,
Who's on
that's
that list? You have the list in front of you? I remember Rubio and I remember McCarthy. Like, how bad
no,
does it
since we're
get?
going through the list, I went to her hits. Let me see if I can go back to her
Oh,
list. But
I
gosh,
mean,
gosh,
did she give
wow.
to Trump?
Donated nearly 22,000 to
Who-
right-wing politicians and organizations since 2023. So, a
Oh, since
hand,
2023, just recently?
yeah, that's problematic.
No matter how you slice it, it's disappointing. But they did
Right.
they did make sure they found a black artist who was going to be sympathetic to the cause to give the award to.
Yeah, here you go. Here's the list. Uh, Ted Cruz, Got $477. 356 to Kevin McCarthy. 2,200 to Mini Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House. 1,100 to Trump's National Security Advisor, sorry ass Rubio. Nikki Haley, Ben Carson, and Vivek Ramaswamy. Those are some of the.
Oh, Vivek. Oh my God. Okay. Okay. You know, yesterday it was Nelly. Today it's Gloria Gaynor.
Unbelievable. I'll never understand Black MAGA. And that's why I'm wearing my Chairteenth shirt. If you know, then you know. Right? In honor of the Montgomery takedown on the dock. When
Oh, that's what the hat is?
That's what the hat is. Black Americans carry a folding chair with you just in case.
Oh, that's a folding chair. My eyes aren't that good. Oh, it's a folding chair. Look,
Chair.
we're going to maybe have to bring some folding chairs out there on the streets in D.C. But let's bring the folding chairs when we're marching. March for a couple hours, pop the chair out, rest for 30 minutes, march for another hour.
Yeah, and if some shit breaks out, you just throw the hat up in the air. Right? That's what happened on the dock that day. Happy Chairteenth. We're going to celebrate it every August 13th and make it happen. So I will be putting a link in the description for you to purchase your own.
Okay. Not sure it's on a lot of white guys' calendars, but now I know. Once you know. If you don't know, now you know. You realize white guys can't sing the next sentence, right? Biggie set it up. We can only do the first two sentences. We can't sing the full chorus.
Nah, you can't get that part in there. You know, unless you're at a party and you cover your. And if you don't know,
You know,
you know.
No.
All right, bro. We're out of time.
All right, Mark. Always a pleasure. I'll talk to you tomorrow.